A insider reveals the Canucks' top priority UFA going into this offseason, and Jett Woo speaks out on his time with Vancouver. I'll get into that later on this episode, but before I start, I just want to say to the 95% of you guys that aren't subscribed, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. I know this is early on, I know this is a brand new channel, but if you want to keep up to date with everything Canucks, from prospect, game recaps, trades, rumors, anything you can think of, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button because we'll be here all season long. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Woo speaks out on his time with the Canucks. Now, obviously, Jett Woo did come up. He didn't get any playing time with the Canucks, but he did speak out on his time before being sent down. It's great, said Woo. Obviously there's a couple of differences within the structure slightly, but it's great to have that communication up and down the system, them knowing how you play and relying how you can play in the game or practices or whatever. It makes it a lot easier with these last couple of years knowing that, and they're having a great year right now, and it kind of shows. Now, he did kind of hint towards this, that you could see throughout the Canucks management and Abbotsford Canucks management that these teams play very similar and the systems are quite the same from what Rick Tocchet is running with the big club. So making the game for the transition easier on guys like Jett Woo, Baines that is getting called up, it makes it easier to call someone up and not have to worry with teaching them a brand new system. They're taught the system in Abbotsford, they come straight up with a couple tweaks, it is pretty much the exact same. Now, Woo continues on. It's crazy. It's amazing. Even in Abbotsford, you have guys like Yogi come down or the Sedins, and after months or years of working with them, sometimes you think, it's just a couple other coaches, but it's Hall of Famers. It's the best players that have played the game. It's crazy. I was talking to one of my buddies from home the other day. I was having a little bag skate with Rick Tocchet, Sergei Gonchar, and Adam Foote. I was defending a 2-on-1 with Tocchet and Footer, trying to drive the net, and Gonchar was throwing sauce. Who else gets to do that? Like I said before, whether I'm playing or not, this is a great experience for me, and I know anyone else would love to be in my shoes. For me, just take it one day at a time, enjoy, and learn as much as I can. Now, obviously, he didn't get into games, as I kind of said, but he got up, he got to experience this, he got to get coached by Rick Tocchet, kind of learn what this team has been doing this year to make them the top team in the NHL. He got to meet guys like Sergei Gonchar, and there's so many other aspects of this that just helps with his development. Obviously, he came up, sat in the press box, got paid, practiced with the team, and he's headed back to Abbotsford to get in the race to get into the playoffs and help this team achieve what they want, but he wants to be back in the NHL. Obviously, he got the taste of it, and he doesn't want anything else but to fight back. So this could be the motivation to really turn Jett Woo around. Maybe he starts to dominate in Abbotsford, gets the call up again. I wouldn't be surprised in the final game or maybe the second last game we see Jett Woo called up if they're resting a few guys, just to get into his action, just to kind of play with this team, get the taste of it again. Or if Abbotsford's in the middle of the playoffs, maybe Abbotsford gets knocked out, they don't make the playoffs, and maybe Jett Woo's called up as a 7th or 8th defenseman. Either way, it's just a great experience for a guy like this, and just hearing him talk about it, how much he appreciated it, it's awesome to really hear. So what's your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think getting Jett Woo up and the practices was perfect? Or do you think it was best off just to leave him in Abbotsford, not really bring him up and leave him in the press box? Let me know down in the comments. But with that, let's hop straight into the second topic, which is reports reveal Canucks' top UFA priority. Now, this did come from Rick Dolly, and he reported Blueger appears to be the top priority for the club. He continues on to say on Sportsnight's at 650, I do want to say something on the UFA front. I do think the Canucks indicate they want to keep Teddy Blueger. That's a player that's identified they want to resign. I would not be surprised if Blueger is the first UFA they try and re-sign. Now, obviously, that's pretty big news to come out. I mean, Teddy Blueger has been a staple on this Canucks third line. The Canucks third line has been outstanding. And just seeing that it looks like he is their top priority as a UFA is kind of mind-blowing when you look at so many guys that need to be signed that are UFAs. I mean, when you look at this, you have guys like Lindholm, Blueger, Lafferty, Dakota, Tyler Myers, Zadorov, Ian Cole, Casey DeSmith. You can look through it here. There is a lot of guys that are yet to be signed, but seeing Teddy Blueger's name come out as what the Canucks might value as their top UFA going into this offseason is quite crazy. But when you do look at the stats, is it really that crazy? So when you do look at it, Blueger found a home on Vancouver's third line along Garland and Dakota Joshua, where the trio has flourished with some impressive point production. All three players have scored over 2 points per hour at 5-on-5, and together in 352 minutes, they've controlled the puck 55.72% of the time of the shot attempt shares, 62.6% of expected goal shares, 59.14% of scoring chances, and a stunning 67.74% of actual goals scored. Obviously, this is a lot to take in. It's a lot to really look into. But with these advanced stats, just seeing how good this third line's been, I would not be surprised if they've really put, a guy like Tocchet, Blueger, these guys to be one of their top priorities of signing on UFA. I mean, obviously both guys are going to be signed, and I really certainly hope they do get signed. But just seeing these numbers of how good this third line has been quite impressive. I mean, a big part of that has been Blueger's play, as when together they scored 3.58 goals per 36 at 5-on-5. And when Blueger's away from that, that drops down to 2.37. Individually, his impact has been insane. According to hockeyviz.com, he provides even strength offense at 12% rate above league average, and a defense is 2% rate above league average as well. So as I said, these numbers are just outstanding for this guy, and when you truly do look at stuff like this, I think the Canucks know they can't let a guy like this walk. I mean, as I said, you look at this, there's so many guys. Blueger is 29 years old. He is pretty much capped out as your third line center, but just having this guy in this lineup with a guy like Garland, Tocchet, just seeing him kind of elevate their games and make this line such a high impact line, I don't think you can let a guy like this walk, and I think you need to do everything you can to sign him. I mean, you look at his numbers this year. In 42 games, he has 5 goals, which is only 4 off a career high. He still has quite a few games to play, so I do think he'll achieve his career high in goals. And when you do look at assists, this is just 2 off his career high. He had 19 with Pittsburgh back in 2021-22. And you look at points, this is just close to his career high. And this, once again, this guy is just achieving at such a high rate, just making this line so much better. As I said, don't let him walk. Make him a priority. I know you have guys like Elias Lindholm signed, Sidorov, Tyler Myers, if you really put him as a top priority. But there's so many guys to sign, but I think you can bring Blueger back on a team-friendly discount. I know he's making just roughly $2.1 million or 1.9, roughly between there. If you can get him back on a bridge deal, maybe bring him on 2-3 years at 2.5 or something under $3 million, I think this is the perfect contract for a guy like this, especially if you can keep this line intact. So what you guys thought? Do you think Blueger should be one of the top UFA priorities? Do you think this is a guy that you would kind of wait? Or do you want to replace him in free agency, which I don't think is a good idea, but let me know down in the comments. Now, that'll be it for this episode of Canucks Digest. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share this with your friends. I love reading through the comments. Like I said, I'm going to try to get through all these comments, respond to as many people as I can. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know your favorite Canucks player. Let me know anything you want to know. But with that, that'll be it for this episode, and take care.